You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Tom Brady, and we're going to talk about the Patriots. You could say anything, well, a lot related to Tom Brady could have to do with the Patriots too, and I think, in fact, that's what we've got here. We've got Tom Brady was one of the hosts of the Indianapolis 500 from this past weekend, and he got the crap booed out of him. All right, and some video has emerged of that. Now, we know why he got booed there. Him and the Patriots kicked the crap out of the Colts for how many years until Peyton and them finally got over the hump. But, I mean, the fact is, outside of Tampa Bay and New England, Tom Brady's going to get booed everywhere. That's just the way it is, I believe, for the most part. And so let's check this out. There's a little reaction to it from people too. Let's listen to this.
Stand on his face.
Somebody said, I told you he was going to get booed. Well, he's rocking his Fox Sports gear because we know, well, he's working for Fox Sports, yada, yada, yada. So he's there to on behalf of that. He owns Indy. I mean, yeah. I mean, you could expect. They're like, we don't forget the hundreds of times you broke our heart. Not only that, but wasn't it the Colts that turned Brady in over Deflategate, and that's a whole thing? A lot of animosity between the Patriots and the Colts over the years, no doubt about it. By the way, rest in peace, Jim Irsay. As it should be in Indiana, Colts fans can't stand Brady and the Patriots. Tom Brady will always be a cheater in my book. Here we go. When you are the GOAT and consistently beat everyone in your sport for 23 years, getting booed only validates your greatness. 110% correct. 110% correct. In my opinion, bitter fans. I mean, yeah, come on. Didn't really hear the crowd boo at all. Are you deaf? ? I just got to ask. That booing was loud as hell. I don't know what they listened to. So, that brings us over to something that's directly related to the Patriots. One of the biggest off-season storylines coming out of the Patriots hiring Mike Vrabel was what the hell was going to happen with Eliot Wolf in the Wolf Pack. All right? If you follow the Patriots, you know all about those two individuals. Eliot Wolf had what looks at this point to be a disastrous draft last year. Him and Matt Groh. By the way, they had a hand in Belichick's last several disastrous drafts. I still don't understand why these two are around in New England. I don't know why they're still there. And Eliot Wolf is there for the time being. And, the Patriots have made a point to come out and say things that lead you to believe they're keeping this tool. All right? I'm talking about Eliot Wolf. And so this is an interesting story that came out by way of Mike Reese talking about the Patriots and trying to, of course, a lot of people have there's people that have picked Patriots to win 11 games. They got a softer schedule because of their win-loss record last year. And yeah, on paper, between coaching and personnel, I mean, there's a world where the Patriots added 6 to 10 legit new starters on this team between free agency and the draft. That's a lot of, when you can add, let's say, 6 to 10 solid starters to your team, you could be much improved. Lord knows Josh McDaniels, a step up at offensive coordinator, a big step up. But there's a story that's come out involving the fact that people have wondered how well will Vrabel and Eliot Wolf get along ultimately. Well, now there's a story that's come out about maybe their first issue they had. The changes, while not extreme, extended to the front office. Most significant was the hiring of Ryan Cowden as the team's official number 2 executive. By the way, Ryan Cowden came from Tennessee, all right? Yeah, with Vrabel. He was a vice president of player personnel. You see that right there. All right, and then Stretcher, right? They call him Stretch. 2 of Vrabel's confidants with the existing staff of executive vice president of player personnel, Eliot Wolf, and top aides such as senior personnel executive Alonzo Highsmith and former director of player personnel Matt Groh, who's now working more on contracts, maybe that's why he's still got a job, has been an evolving process. Eliot Wolf noted a possible breakthrough moment for this new dynamic during a pressure-filled moment on day 2 of the draft. The Patriots were close to making their pick early in the second round, number 38, and were debating between Ohio State running back TreVeyon Henderson, who I think is a hell of a pick, and another player, according to Wolf. There were differing opinions in the draft room. Ultimately, Wolf said the other player in the discussion was selected before the Patriots pick, making the decision for New England. So, in other words, the one they were arguing about, it didn't matter because he came off the board before they got to the pick. But it's interesting to wonder who would have won that if the player would have still been on the board. I contest it would be Mike Vrabel, and that Eliot Wolf is virtually benign at this point as a personnel guy, outside of, let's say, 6th round, 7th round picks maybe, or something like that. All right? But Wolf was pleased the constructive discussion leading up to that point. Quote, I think it was a really good step in the right direction in our relationship as co-workers because we have to have productive disagreements for this to work. Wolf, who sat between Vrabel and Cowden in the draft room. Wolf also credits Vrabel, Cowden, and Stretcher for improving the Patriots' process in pursuing undrafted free agents, and he views his year's 16-player class as one of the best he's seen from a team that he's been part of for his 21-year career. Well, yeah, they got some guys in the undrafted ranks that may end up becoming real players on this team. I think there's 2 or 3 that may end up being real dudes. But anyway, that's a side note. What would have been interesting is who would have blinked. And what was the other player? I think it was Jayden Higgins. All right. I think it was Jayden Higgins out of Iowa State, the wide receiver. All right. That's my gut feeling. Some have said Judkins with Ohio State, maybe. I don't know about that. They ended up ultimately taking Kyle Williams, a wide receiver I really like, actually, but I loved Higgins. I did. And guess what? Another former Patriots guy, Nick Caserio, ended up taking that player with the Texans. Very interesting. A lot of people believe Eliot Wolf doesn't have much power anymore. And nor should he, frankly, because his free agency / draft from last year and his ending tenure around Belichick is disastrous. All right? I mean, yeah, Vrabel at the very end had some issues in Tennessee, but no, I mean, there's just no way. And if you look at the free agency class, it's got the free agency class particularly, it's got Vrabel written all over it. Right? And some of these draft picks do too. Make no mistake. Will Campbell, TreVeyon Henderson. It's got, although not a super monstrous running back like Derrick Henry, you get my point. Dynamic running back, going to be a playmaker. That guy could be unbelievable for the Patriots. Is there a schism there? I love that word. Is there a schism in New England? I can tell you right now, Eliot Wolf is going to go along ultimately with anything Mike Vrabel wants because he's screwed if he doesn't. I think it is 110% Mike Vrabel's show. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.